In the second half of activity 4.1, they give us the function for velocity. V of t equals 0.5 t cubed minus 1.5 t squared plus 1.5 t plus 1.5. And they also remind us that v of t is the derivative of s of t. So we're going to use those facts to figure out a function that could be s of t. Well, we need these to be our derivatives. So let's think about how our derivative rule works. They're all power rules. So we need to undo what the power rule does. Well, the power rule pulls the exponent down and multiplies and decreases by 1. Going in the opposite or inverse, we're going to increase the power by 1 and divide by that new exponent. How do we know this works? Well, let's check it. To use the power rule on this, drop the 4, which cancels those 4's out. Decrease the power by 1, we get our 0.5 t cubed. So now we can go down the line with this pattern. 1.5 t cubed over 3 plus 1.5 t squared over 2 plus 1.5 t. So again, we can take the derivative of this to verify that its derivative is v of t. But this is our function for s of t. So now we're asked to actually calculate s of 2 minus s of 0. Which if you do this, s of 2 comes out to be 4, s of 0 comes out to be 0, which equals 4. Now let's think about the relevance here. This is going to give us our position at 0 hours. This will give us our position at 2 hours. So the difference between them will give us our change in position, or in this case, our distance traveled. So our person has traveled 4 miles because our velocity function is always positive and increasing. Now if we compare that to our estimate, our left-hand rule with 4 rectangles came out to be 3.75 miles. And I don't think I ever gave the calculation for the left-hand rule with 8 rectangles. You would actually get 3.875 miles. Well, if we look at our graph, the left-hand rule is always going to sit underneath. So we were always going to get an estimate. And notice that our number is getting higher at 8 rectangles. If we did 12 rectangles, it would be even closer to 4. What we found is the distance traveled is actually 4 miles. And we did it without having to use any rectangles. This is going to be a very big idea heading forward.